Hey friends, welcome back to Trendy DIY 29. I'm back with another video. So guys, I'm so excited for this video because I have more seeds. These seeds are from M.I. Gardener. I've been patiently waiting for these and they finally came in. So I'm not gonna let you guys wait any longer. Let's just jump right into it. I'm not gonna be doing these in any particular order. So the order does not matter. So let's get started. The first pack of seeds, I've been dying to grow these. Like seriously, been dying to grow these. And I have not been able to get my hands on seeds. Last year when I did find seeds, of course the season was almost over. And peppers take a while, guys, so whatever. So, you know, it was no point in growing it. I wasn't going to get a pepper. If anything, maybe one, but is that really worth it? Not really. So, it is the purple beauty pepper, guys. Trying to get that. That is beautiful. Look how purple that is. Like, really? And I think it's so pretty. And it says that this bell pepper variety produces medium-sized blocky bell peppers with a deep purple color and a thick wall, making for a sweet, crisp, and colorful addition to any dish. Which I think that, just imagine a stir fry. Like, I don't know if you guys have ever made a stir fry and you use like the green and the yellow and the red. It's beautiful. Just imagine having purple in there. Like, come on. The next thing that I got is called the red beard bunching onion. I really want to learn to grow onions. I love onions. I love onion soup. So my dream is to be able to find all different types of onions so that I can make like a really good onion type soup. So this is the red bunching onion. And they kind of grow cylindrical. Not really too big of an onion, but I like that because, as you guys know, I backyard garden. I don't have any type of acres, anything like that. So this is good. This is a short day variety, originally from China. And it says this onion has red stalks, mild flavor, and tender leaves. Ideal for soups, like I just said, and sandwiches. So guys, I'm really looking forward to growing this. But I am kind of concerned that this says short day variety, because I'm like right on the line. So I've been planning like long day. So I'll figure it out. The next, guys, I got not just for myself, but I got it for my pollinators. Always remember, guys, that you need to grow some things in your garden for pollinators. Because don't just rely on the flowers of your plant to attract the pollinators. Because say, for instance, if you have, like, say if you're growing in an urban backyard garden like I am, your neighbors and a lot of people in your street probably don't have any edible plants. So there's not really going to be that many of those beneficial insects that you need, like the ones that will kill off the pests and stuff. There's not going to be that many lurking around because a lot of those insects come around based on the crops that are in the area. So you need to make sure that your garden is set up for success. So in order to set your garden up for success, you want to be able to grow things other than just fruits and vegetables. You want to grow some flowers and also some medicinal herbs, because those are what's going to keep certain pollinators in your garden. It's going to keep certain beneficial insects in your garden, so that when you have that whitefly outbreak, or when you have that that beetle or Japanese beetle outbreak, you will have those pests already living in your garden, so that they will just be on alert. Like literally, you have free it's like free labor. You're getting free labor from insects just by growing them a home to stay or growing them something to eat. So always think about that. So I chose to grow some wild bergamot, also known as bee balm. And I think the flowers look really cool, guys. I don't know if you can really see that, but the inside of the flower almost looks like a honeycomb. So I think that that is really cool. And believe it or not, it attracts bees, of course. It's a pollinator, it's pollinator friendly, and it's also a wildflower, and it's unique. It's a unique part of the mint family. They say that this variety has a number of uses. It has a delicious fragrant scent. It's also a favorite of bees, butterflies, and hummingbirds. Bergamot can also be used for its essential oil properties to create captivating perfumes, and that is one of the ideas that I have for this. If you guys don't know, I have a business. You guys see right here. It's creativejourney29.com, and I make a lot of handmade soaps and oils. I also make a lot of handmade jewelry. I love semi-precious stones. I'm a crystal addict. So if you guys want to see like some crystal videos or anything like that, leave that in the comments. But yeah, I'm definitely looking to grow this, dry this out, and make some bergamot oil. So I'm really looking forward to that. The next is another medicinal plant, because I'm trying to grow this year. I want a little small medicinal patch in my garden where I can pick things to make certain salves and oils and soaps for my business. So I can keep my costs down, and I don't have to worry about shipping and all that. If I'm growing it, I'm getting it as fresh as I possibly can. So the next medicinal plant that I'm growing is going to be St. John's wort. I think St. John's wort is pretty. And the good thing about St. John's wort, it is one of the most widely used medicinal herbs. It's grown as a small shrub. It needs minimal care, which I love. So I'm just going to put this in a little pot, maybe on my steps. I'm probably not going to hook up this St. John's wort. I'm probably not going to have it in a pot that's hooked up to drip irrigation, because I don't want to overwater it. So you'll need minimal care, and once harvested, it can be brewed as a tea to treat the symptoms of insomnia, depression, and anxiety. So I'm really looking forward to this, because I do struggle with anxiety sometimes. So it will be good to know that I can just go out in the garden and make me some tea. The next is something that I am so excited, guys. And I haven't even grown this yet, but I'm going to recommend you guys buy this seed, okay? Because I don't know. I'm going to tell you guys a story, because I know that you guys know what I'm saying when I tell you this, okay? I don't know about y'all, but when you grow those beautiful cucumbers and you grow those beautiful tomatoes and green peppers start coming in, and this is normally around like July, August, right? Tell me if it's just me, or are you dying because you have to go to the grocery store and get lettuce? Because all your lettuce, by the time your tomatoes are red, by the time your cucumbers, are flourishing, by the time you have cucumbers and tomatoes at the same time, basically, by the time you have your salad ingredients, your lettuce usually has already went to seed. So I find myself year after year going to the grocery store to get lettuce, or I end up making cucumber tomato salad over and over again, which I love. Don't get me wrong, but I would love to just have a regular salad. So I found slow bolt lettuce, guys. So this lettuce is supposed to be slow to bolt, because I've tried all types of lettuce, from Paris Island lettuce to romaine lettuce to a mesclun blend to what else was the other one that I grew that I love? The black seeded Simpson, beautiful lettuce, guys, if you haven't grown that. But that went to seed, and I grew a giant massive head of it, and it was all bad. It all tastes nasty. So I'm going to get me a real salad this year, and I'm going to get it with this slow bolt. And it says that this is a 1940s variety. It is one of the slowest to go to seed. It's heat tolerant with a pleasant flavor that will not go bitter. I don't know if you guys have ever grown beautiful bunches of lettuce before and you go to taste it and it's bitter and you got to throw it away and it sucks. If you guys don't believe me, check out, I can't tell you which video it is, but in one of my garden tour videos, I grew a big, beautiful head of black seeded Simpson, and it was all like bolted and nasty, and I couldn't do nothing with it. So I am looking forward to this. And they say that this is a loose leafed variety, perfect for a cut and come again, which is great, because I'm going to be making me salads all the time, because I like to grill steaks and I like to grill chicken. And what's the best side dish for that when you have a garden, which is a beautiful salad? So excited about that, guys. The next one, last but not least, I'm like nervous. I don't know what about this seed pack makes me nervous, but I'm nervous about it, guys, because it looks massive. And whenever I try to grow something that's supposed to grow massive, I run into little problems, because like I'm growing in a smaller garden. So it usually tries to take over and kill my other plants. So this is the Great Lakes crisp head lettuce. Look how big that looks, guys. And supposedly this is supposed to be similar to a iceberg, but has better flavor. I don't ever try to grow iceberg lettuce because, one, it's cheap. It's like 99 cents at the grocery store. And then for two, Iceberg really doesn't have flavor. It tastes like water. But, oh wow, this says that this is I don't know if this is a misprint or not, but it says black-seeded Simpson lettuce is one of the most popular forms of lettuce for the home gardener, cut and come again style. So what I believe is that this either has the same care instructions as the black-seeded Simpson, so they just use the same back, because it says Great Lakes crisp head lettuce on the back, but then it explains black-seeded Simpson. So not sure, guys, but this is supposed to be, as you can see, a hitting lettuce, and it looks like it makes a lot of loose leaves as well. So you might can just harvest the loose leaves and keep the head. I don't know, but I will be trying that out. Not sure how many lettuces, guys, I'm actually going to grow, just because lettuce can take up space in a garden. And once you have like a few varieties, you really don't need that many lettuces. At least I don't need that many lettuces. The next, guys, is going to be another medicinal herb, as well as a spiritual herb, because I love sage. I love to sage my house. I love to use Palo Santo. I love that to clear the energies and stuff like that in my home. I also clear the energies sometimes in my garden. If I'm having garden issue, guys, get out there with some sage and sage your garden and speak your intentions over your garden, guys. I'm telling you, it works. Just saying. But this is hyssop. I actually brought hyssop last year. I rescued it from a clearance rack, and it actually grew all throughout the winter. It was perfectly fine, and it's still out there, guys. So I just left it in over the winter, because a lot of times when I want to learn about a plant, I leave it in. Only way to learn about what a plant can withstand, can't withstand, you can read it all you want in a book, but to know for your exact area, your exact temperature, guys, you can just go and leave one in. If you grow, say for instance, you grow 5 sets of rosemary, and you're like, oh, I want to know if rosemary, I grow it every year. I'm curious to know how long my rosemary will last. Do I really need to be putting in all this work on this rosemary? Leave one plant in, harvest one plant, take it in, dry it, use it for spices or for cooking or whatever, and leave it out there all year. And come spring, you'll be able to see if the rosemary grows back. Okay, this rosemary does well. It can overwinter in my neighborhood. I don't need to do anything. Like, take those initiatives, guys, because sometimes you will find out you're doing a lot of work that you don't need to do. And I figured that out, because I used to replace my rosemary like every year, because I know we get cold frost because I'm in Maryland. So it's around, we get cold, we get frost, we get snow, we get ice, we get sleet. So I was like, okay, there's no way this is going to kill it. But what I found is that if you have a well-established rosemary plant, and the majority of that plant is woody, which means that it's had a long life cycle somewhat, then your rosemary will last for a few years. Now, what I've noticed with that plant, this is year number 3, the plant looks like it's not coming back. So I'm starting to feel like maybe rosemary is more of a biennial where I live, or maybe it's a plant that I can get a few years out of, but I may have to replenish it every few years. So note to self, I can start to take a cutting on the second year, root that cutting and start a new plant. So that's a lot of stuff, guys, that you will learn if you just leave some stuff in your garden. So hyssop, like I was saying, it's a beautiful herb, but not only, and it reminds me of lavender. Look how pretty it is. But it's also a pollinator attractor. It has a beautiful scent of licorice, basil, and lemon, which I am dying to know what that smells like, because I know what basil smells like, I know what lemon smells like, and I know what licorice smells like. But what do they all smell like together? I don't know. They say you can dry the flowers to make a wonderful homegrown tea blend, which I'm going to go tea crazy this summer, because I'm growing a lot of stuff that can be used in tea. So if I come up with any good concoctions, you can be able to find those on my website at creativejourney29.com. So they said the young leaves and flowers can be added to fruit salad and drinks. That's different. And hyssop is right at home in the flower garden just as much as the herb garden. So they said you can put this in your flower garden, you can put it in the herb garden. It's not going to really look out of place in either. So it's versatile, and I love that. The next, I'm really excited about it because I love these. When I go to sub shops, or if I go to like in Philadelphia, if you guys check out, I have a video that tells you what I think the best cheesesteak spot is in Philly. It's on my YouTube channel under travel. But it is the Max's, I think it's Max's cheesesteaks or whatever, but it's called Max's in Philly. I'm telling you, that's the best cheesesteak spot. But they, in Philly, I've noticed they don't use like how here in Maryland with cheesesteak subs and stuff, they give you like that hot pepper relish and it's minced up. But in Philly, they give you the full peppers or the full big slices of peppers. So I was like, oh, I want to make that. So large red cherry peppers. This is what they use to make that red pepper relish that you find on cheesesteaks, you find in delis. And I want to grow these so that I can pickle them whole. And then whenever I want to make, a sandwich or use it, I can have some pickled whole, and I can also have some that I'm going to ground up and, make into that pepper relish. So, and I love that. So I know I'm actually going to eat that. That's another thing, guys. Grow stuff that you're actually going to eat. When I first started gardening, I realized I grew a lot of stuff that I don't necessarily eat all the time. Or I grew too much of one thing. Like, how many cucumbers did I think my family was going to eat? It's just me and my boyfriend. Yeah, I have cookouts and stuff, but like, you can't really grill cucumbers. You get what I'm saying? And I was like having massive tons of cucumbers when I could have took some of that space and only grew maybe 3 cucumbers plants instead of 6 and put something there, maybe like testing out corn or something. So keep that in mind. The next is another good herb, broadleaf sage, guys. As you guys know, I told you earlier, I love to sage my house. So I brought this broadleaf sage because I want to make some sage bundles and some cleansing bundles with sage, with some of my hyssop. I also have, what else was out there? Also have lavender. So I want to really experiment with different sage bundles. The next thing is a beautiful onion. I just thought it was pretty. And as you guys know, I'm on my onion journey this year. I tried to grow onions last year, learned that the seeds are sensitive, so I picked the wrong seeds. So like, guys, do your research when you're growing onions. Don't be like me and just say, oh, I'm going to pick the onion that I think looks the most tasty or the onion that looks the most cool and expect it to grow in your area. That's not how onions work. So I got the Bianca Di Maggio onion. Look at this, guys. It's like a flat globe onion. And I thought that it was a really cool looking, and I love that the tops to me look like leeks. So I'm guessing I could probably use them like leeks. But it says it's a beautiful white variety and can be harvested young for their green and flavorful tops. See, I was on to something. They also make delicious storing onions and can be braided to save space, which I also believe that's the reason why I brought it, because I want to also try to overwinter this year some of the root vegetables. I do not have a root cellar, but I'm going to try to find a place in my basement where I think that it's cool, it's dry, and it's dark. And then I'm going to get me, some crates and some hay, and I'm just going to test it out. Like I tell you guys, don't be scared. There's only one way to find out, which is to do. Now, out of all of the tomato varieties, guys, that I've grown, I have never grown a paste tomato. And I don't know why. I think I get overwhelmed with the big giant tomatoes. I want to see those big massive ones hanging off the branch. But this is called a Federle tomato. Most people grow Romas, and I didn't want to grow a Roma because our Romas are like literally like the ones in the grocery store. So look at the Federle. Cool shape, right? They remind me almost like they're shaped almost like they want to be an eggplant. But it's an intermediate. And I mean, it's an indeterminate. I'm sorry, guys. It's an indeterminate, which means that it'll just keep growing and growing and growing. It's a West Virginia heirloom, which I think is really cool because I live in Maryland. West Virginia is not that far from me. So I feel like that it will do well in my area. It is a giant, keyword, giant paste variety, because what I've learned from canning over the past 2 years is that you may feel like you have a lot of tomatoes, but once you process them and you can them down, you will have hardly no tomatoes. Learn from my mistakes, guys. If you want to can and you want to make paste and you want to make tomato soups and all this good stuff, you're going to need a lot. And I mean a lot of tomatoes. Because if you check out my video, I want to say my video, not from last year, but the year before, my first garden, when I first started gardening, like full time, like on a bigger scale, you will see that I had big baskets full of tomatoes, and it was not really, I only was getting like 4 jars of sauce, guys. So Keep that in mind. If you want to be able to have some to eat fresh, some to can, and also maybe some to give to friends and family. And then if you like to dehydrate like me, you want to make maybe some sun-dried tomatoes, or dehydrated tomatoes, which are delicious snack, by the way. You're going to need a ton. So that's why I'm looking for varieties that's going to give me a lot. They say that it produces high yields of 7-inch long banana-shaped fruits with its acidic and rich tomato flavor. This variety is delicious in salsas and heavy sauces, ideal for the home garden. So I'm planning on making like tomato sauce, tomato paste out of these. And then I'm also going to freeze some for stews. And last night, guys, I used some of my cherry tomatoes from August. Do you know how good it feels to have garden fresh tomatoes in the middle of, March? Well, in the beginning of March. Great feeling. The next, guys, is something that I am so excited about. I have heard wonderful things. I've seen wonderful things. So this year, I'm going to see if it's going to live up to what I'm expecting to live up to. And this is the YOLO Wonder Pepper. Look how beautiful that is. And it's like a very large bell pepper. It says the YOLO Wonder Pepper was designed for New Mexico in its dry, hot climate. This bell pepper produces large, thick-walled, blocky fruit that starts green and turns red once ripe. Plants will produce copious amounts of fruit, so if you are short on space, one plant will produce more than enough! Exclamation point. I find that hard to believe, and I'm going to tell you why. I have been planting bell peppers for at least the past 2 years, and what I've noticed, they grow slower than any other pepper that I've ever planted. Normally, every year, I may get 2 or 3 bell peppers off of one plant. But I will say that I was not necessarily dosing them up with phosphorus and potassium, which I know now that I needed to give them some. I believe I was giving my peppers too much nitrogen. So also look into that, guys, when you start to see, okay, why are my plants not producing? I'm seeing everybody else getting 6 or 8 on a plant and I'm only getting 2. It's probably fertilization. It's probably soil. So like last year is when I had better soil and better fertilizer. This year, girls and guys who may be watching, I am set up. I have different types of fertilizer. I have fertilizers that are good for root vegetables. I have fertilizers that are good for leafy greens. You want to get a little bit of everything because each plant needs to be treated differently. And that is something that I learned, is that every plant cannot be treated the same. So the YOLO Wonder Pepper, and I love it because it's like YOLO, you only live once. So you got to grow that pepper. The next, guys, is another herb, which is definitely going to be used as tea as well, and also in my skincare products. It's going to be the lemon balm. Lemon balm is an heirloom herb that grows much like mint, except it's far less invasive, which is good to know. It has a citrusy smell with a touch of mint, and it's amazing in teas. So as you guys know, I'm going to be having a lot of tea. And I'm going to be drying a lot of these so that come wintertime, I'm going to have a ton of fresh tea to drink that you can't get anywhere else, which is going to be fun. It's used to help soothe symptoms of anxiety, depression, and the common cold. This herb is loaded with antioxidants and vitamins, as well as essential oils that should find its place into anyone's tea garden. Homegrown tea is far better than anything from the store since it is picked at peak freshness, which is so true. And I'm actually, guys, going to do a video on that. Not anytime soon, because you guys, I got to make it through the summer to get this stuff to grow. But once this stuff is growing in my garden, I am going to do a video. I'm actually going to find some of the teas in the grocery store, and then I'm going to pull some of the fresh herbs from my garden, and we're going to do a comparison of flavor, of smell, of color, of everything to really see the difference of growing your own tea versus buying it. And these little medicinal type teas are expensive, guys, in the store. Because I know I love to get certain teas like hibiscus teas or flowered teas. I love a chamomile and orange tea. I have a lot of different teas that I like to buy. But they're usually like $6 or $7 a box. Like, tea is not cheap. And if you're like me, I like to make big containers of tea. So I'm using like 2 to 3 tea bags each time. And last but not least, guys, I'm super excited about this. I have really not had that much success in melons. I've tried to grow the Sugar Baby twice. The first year I actually grew 2. One was underripe and the other one was overripe. So it really didn't taste. It was sweet, but it was mushy because it was overripe. I left it on the vine too long. And then last year, I started it too late, so it never got big enough. So this year, I said, you know what? I'm going to try something different. And I'm going to be growing the Minnesota Midget Cantaloupe. Guys, look how cute it is. Supposedly, it's a personal size cantaloupe, which I believe that means I should be able to grow multiple ones in a season. It's a small personal size cantaloupe that has a small footprint, making it ideal for small gardens, patio gardens, or square foot gardens. Plants produce 3 to 7 sweet orange flesh melons. The small seed cavity gives way to the more sweet flesh to snack on. So basically, it doesn't make a lot of seeds. It doesn't take up a lot of space, and I get 3 to 7 on a plant. So what I might do, I try to grow, depending on how long it is, say 75 days. So I may try to succession sow so I can get some cantaloupes throughout the season. So I just got to figure out where are these going to go, because cantaloupes and melons and stuff, you want to put them somewhere in your garden where they get good, when they're going to get good sun, but you also want to make sure that they're going to be out of the way, because those plants don't need too much tender loving care and stuff. Like, you just need to have them out of the way. You don't want them to start vining or climbing on other plants and stuff like that. So I got to figure out where they're going to go. And last but not least, the free seed. And I'm very excited about the free seed that I got. The free seed, if you guys know M.I. Gardener, it's not labeled. They just put them in these packs. And then on the back is the surprise with the sticker that tells you what it is. And they gave me an orange habanero pepper, which I love. I have habanero salsa in my fridge. I have a habanada pepper, so it's good. So now I have a habanero and a habanada. And you know what I might do? Mix the both and mix the two and make a hot sauce that's not too hot. So I can make a habanero hot sauce that has all that flavor of habanero, but I can just put maybe one real habanero pepper in it with all habanadas, and you can make a milder version, which normally habanero is habanero. You can't really get a milder version. So that was the seed haul, guys. These were all 14 packs of seeds. Make sure that you like, you share, and you subscribe, and I will be back with another video.